I was at the grocery store with my friend when I heard about the candy troll. At first, it was just a normal trip to the market. I was grabbing some milk and even some vegetables for my rabbits, and my friend was there to grab some candy and was also to just kind of be there with me. I think she didn't like grocery shopping alone, but I don't know. We never fully figured that out. So yeah, once we grabbed our food and she grabbed her candy, we left the grocery store. As we began to make our way home, which wasn't too far of a walk, but at the time it was already 6 o'clock and the sun was going down behind us, and it was a whole lot of stress going on. But we were just talking to each other and making the most of it. At first, it was a lot of fun, but then as we walked along, I noticed I couldn't hear any cars anywhere. It wasn't too unusual to not see cars along the road, but usually you could still hear them because the freeway was, not too far away, just past the buildings. But still, couldn't hear any cars. And as we continued, I also noticed there weren't any other people around. Now, this was a lot more unusual. We were in a residential area, so it wasn't unheard of to see people just kind of wandering around. Some going to the grocery store, some coming from the grocery store, and a few just hanging out around their cars or dogs or what have you. But today there was no one. I pointed this out to my friend, who immediately turned pale upon hearing this. She took a deep breath and then whispered to me, "Okay, this is very, very important. Whatever you do, don't turn around." Why can't I turn around? I asked her, and then she immediately shushed me before speaking again. "Don't turn around. We're being followed right now." "Who's following us?" I whispered back. It's not unusual in my town to hear someone try to follow you back from the grocery store, but still, it's always a scary situation when that happened. "No, not someone. Something is following us. You need to be absolutely quiet." I nodded and kept walking. I didn't hear anyone behind us, and I certainly didn't see anyone. Before I turned around, trying to look all casual-like while I turned around, she grabbed my hand and squeezed at me. "You need to listen. Don't turn around, don't talk to it, and be quiet. Maybe it'll just go away." We kept walking, and something was definitely wrong. We were walking a lot longer than we normally would, but for some reason, instead of our turn coming up, it was just more and more residential houses. Actually, now that I was thinking about it, it seemed like it was the same residential houses, just repeating as we walked past each one. Damn it! I was hoping to avoid this. Okay, listen, it's going to get close to us soon. When it does, you need to offer it some candy. I did my best not to swallow my tongue when I heard her say that. "I'm sorry, but I don't have any candy." I heard her curse beneath her breath before she reached into her bag, rustling things around. This time, though, I could hear someone behind us. It sounded like someone was taking heavy steps behind us. Normally, someone taking such big and heavy steps wouldn't have caught up to us so easily. But despite our rapid pace, it felt like that the steps were getting bigger, louder, and closer. Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, there it is. My friend grabbed a handful of the candy from the bag, and then he held her hand out to mine, like she was just trying to hold my hand. While I tried to hold her hand back and try to grab the candy, which, if you've ever done before, is very awkward and very difficult to do. So what actually happened was the candy fell, and the candy fell out of my hand and out of her hand. My friend said. While I was certainly impressed by her lack of language, I wasn't sure what to do. Don't worry, I think a piece of it stayed in my hand." My friend cursed under her breath again before saying, Fine, that'll have to do. "Listen, when you hear it behind you, and I mean right behind you, offer your right hand to it and make sure the candy is in your hand. Otherwise, it won't go away." "What's following us?" I whispered. My friend finally answered. "The candy troll." In any other situation, the candy troll would have sounded like some rejected Disney Channel villain, or quite possibly even something that you would tell little kids. But in this situation of repeating houses and heavy steps, it seemed all too dangerous. We continued our walk for what felt like hours longer, but maybe couldn't have been longer than 5 minutes, when I heard something behind me breathing heavily. With each step and with each breath, it grew closer and closer. But still I wasn't sure it was close enough. What if I tried to offer it too soon? Would the candy fall out of my hands? Would it try to take me instead? What was it going to do? I don't know, but its breathing grew closer and stronger. Finally, I could feel its breath on my ears, and with every ounce of bravery I had left, I took the single piece of peppermint in my right hand and turned my hand behind me, so that way I could grab what was in my hand without me having to look at it. I heard its breathing slowly disappear as I felt its long, sharp nails drag across my hand. Its skin felt roughed and calloused, like someone who used their hands for a living. And what I guess was either its nails or its claws, it felt like rusty carpenter nails. The texture was unnatural and made my skin crawl. And the tips were just sharp enough to let me know that they were sharp, but not so sharp that they were going to cut. But I knew very easily it could have cut. It grabbed the peppermint from my hand and dragged it behind. And as it dragged it behind, I couldn't hear anything for a second. And for a moment, I thought me and my friend were safe. But then I heard it whisper in my ears, "Thank you for the peppermint. They're my favorite." My friend and I continued home, and we made it home without any incident. I tried talking to her about the candy troll a few times since then, but she never wanted to talk about it. Only thing she told me was just to keep it candy on me at all times. Because now that I'd walked down its path once, I could walk down its path again, and any time I did, it was going to want its candy. For a few months, I thought everything was fine, and things were cool. I even felt safe in my own home. One day, though, before Halloween, when I had lots of candy in my bowl, and I left just for a few minutes to check on my cat. I came back to the bowl and found it empty. What I did find was a note. It was scrawled on, like whoever wrote it had hands that were way too big and had never used a pen before. But still, the rough chicken scratch could be read, and from what I could read, "Thank you for the peppermints. They're my favorite." I'm not sure when the candy troll was going to come back, but one thing I do know for sure, I am never, ever going to go out without some candy.